We all know the statistics. Something like 75% of people are afraid of public speaking or going out there and performing in front of people in one capacity or another. In fact, more people fear public speaking than fear death. So what are we going to do about it? Those statistics don't actually help much if you are one of those people. And if you are, it may be stopping you from sharing your brilliance to the world or stopping you from taking on opportunities because that fear feels crippling and is preventing you from doing what you truly are capable of doing. So we need to launch into this strategy right away so that you can change that, so you can go after those opportunities, so that you don't feel stifled by your own fear or lack of self-esteem or just low confidence. How do I know this strategy works? Well, because I've used it on myself, and I have also coached hundreds of people get out there and present in front of other people, whether that is in meetings or out there being able to do more effective Zoom calls or performing on stage in front of audiences of thousands. This strategy is simple and it can start working for you today. Before we jump into the strategy, I should just say that if your lack of confidence is holding you back in life and you're ready to say enough is enough and you want an actually effective method for building your confidence so you can go out there and do more, do check out the description box below where you can find details about a revolutionary confidence course which will help you when you need to build that self-esteem, build your sense of self, and be more assertive. Because what would that do to your life? Well, it may be the game changer that you need. But now let's dive into the strategy, which is what I call the 3 Ps of your spotlight moment. So your spotlight moment is up for you to define. Like I said, that may be just being able to stand up in business meetings. It may be about being able to put your hand up and speak out in your PTO meetings. Or it may be feeling more confident when you go out and speak to a big group of people. Whatever elements of your life that would benefit from feeling more sure of yourself when you are presenting your ideas, this strategy is going to help. So let's dive into the first P of this 3P strategy, which is purpose. Now, look, if this is the only thing you take away from this strategy, it will already have a massive impact on how you go about presenting yourself. Tuning in to the purpose behind why you're putting yourself in this position in the first place is absolutely integral to being able to rise to the occasion. Now, what do I mean by purpose? Well, there's a reason that you're putting yourself out there or that you feel the pressure to put yourself out there. And you need to understand what that reason is and how it resonates with your core values and what you actually want to be achieving with your life. So here's some questions you can start asking yourself when you are trying to understand what the purpose of this spotlight moment is for you. Ask yourself, what is it you're trying to achieve? What is the ideal outcome going to look like in presenting yourself forward in this way? Who is it for? For example, if this is stepping up and speaking out against a certain cause, is that for your children? Is it for generations to come? Is it for a group of people who aren't able to speak out for themselves? Who are the people that would most benefit from you being able to rise to this occasion? Maybe it's yourself, or maybe it is your family, or maybe it is a wider community, but cluing into those people or that person that is going to benefit is part of identifying the purpose behind the reason you're doing this. Other questions to ask is, what does this connect to in your core values? When you look at what your core values are, this spotlight moment has to tie in somehow to one of those values. And I should just say right now, if you're searching around trying to answer these questions and you're not coming up with anything, or you're realizing that actually there doesn't seem to be an underlying purpose that you can connect to for putting yourself in this spotlight moment, then you may want to consider that this spotlight moment isn't one worth putting your time and energy in. Now, I am not saying that we just bail when we feel afraid. In fact, that fear is so useful because it can help drive us forward if we approach it in the way that I'm outlining now. I'm not saying that we just give up because it's difficult or because it's hard, but you have to be able to know that you're doing it for a reason. And sometimes, unfortunately, that reason can get really lost or may not be there in the first place. So if you're not able to connect with any purpose, then maybe you want to shift your focus to something that is connected to your purpose. If you're going to summon up the strength within yourself to go out there and thrive in that spotlight moment, it's got to have a reason behind it and a reason that you are truly connected to. So try answering some of these questions if you're preparing for one of these spotlight moments. If it's a more general thing and you just want to have this strength working for you, remember to check out the description box below where you can look at the course that is going to give you that kind of day-to-day confidence that is going to make you able to step up to the plate in all areas of your life at all times. That's in the description box below. But now let's move on to the second P of this strategy for being able to step up in your spotlight moments, for being able to rise to the challenge of moments when you feel insecure or a lack of confidence and you need to present yourself in the best possible way. The second P is perspective. Now, I am not saying put it in perspective, it's no big deal. I'm not saying that. Unfortunately, a lot of advice out there is saying that, which if you have done the first part of this and you've found what the purpose is, then it is a big deal. And that may be why you're feeling the pressure of this specific moment. So I'm not saying put it in perspective. What I am saying is shift your perspective of what the feelings you're going through actually mean. Science tells us that when we experience nervousness, our body is going through the exact same reaction as it would if we were feeling excited. So being excited and being nervous are identical in terms of what's going on physiologically in our bodies. The only thing that separates those two feelings is the meaning we put on it. So when we talk about shifting our perspective, we're actually trying to change those nervous feelings that we've put on what's going on in our body. So the racing heart or the sweats or the dry mouth, whatever it is that you experience when you're feeling nervous, when you're about to go give a public presentation or speak out or perform in some way, your spotlight moments, shifting that to telling yourself that actually all of those feelings that are going on in your body is down to excitement. Now, look, I'm aware that this requires a little bit of imagination. It may even require you to kind of play on what you're actually feeling. Of course, you have labeled all of that physiological response to the situation as nervousness or as fear or as anxiety. And yet we know that what's actually going on in your body is exactly the same as if you were excited. And I have spoken to incredible performers who go out on stage and perform to hundreds, thousands of people every night who have talked to me about their nervousness, their anxiety, their stage fright. And they will point to this trick that you can play on yourself as being what has allowed them to keep going out on stage every night. And what do? They tell themselves, I'm excited. This is excitement I'm feeling. And they eliminate identifying it as fear or as nervousness or as worry. When we identify it or label it in that way, we're just perpetuating the feeling. And then we begin to respond with the anticipation that we are in fact nervous. So this second P is about shifting your perspective of what you are actually experiencing. And if you don't believe me, if you think, no, I'll just be lying to myself, try it. Try telling yourself, these are feelings of excitement. And if you have already done step one of tuning into your purpose, that is going to be an easier thing to convince yourself of and can make the big difference of actually being able to step out on stage or to raise your hand or to step up in whatever context it is that you need to be able to do in order to serve that purpose that we talked about in the first P. Let's move now to your third P, which is what I call positive picturing. And this is something that you can actively do just before that moment, that spotlight moment where you're being called on to step up, to present in some way or another. Remember, we're talking about high pressure situations. So whatever way this is presented in your life, when you need to do this, take some time to do what I call positive picturing, which is to close your eyes and talk yourself through the exact sequence of events that will occur when you have to put yourself in that situation. So this is a form of visualization. You might have practiced visualization in the past. It is one of the most powerful things that we can do to combat the nerves of stage fright or public speaking. And all it requires is a few moments. Now, you can do this a few moments for each day leading up to the big event, whatever it is for you, or you can do it just before, carving out some time where you can be on your own. You can close your eyes and you can walk yourself through those moments. Now, sometimes you are going to have to fill in the blanks a little bit. For example, if you're imagining giving a speech and you aren't really sure what the reaction is going to be like when you deliver that killer punchline, well, you might have to fill in the blanks, but fill in the blanks with the best possible outcome. That's why it's called positive picturing. So you imagine delivering that line and everybody laughing or raising their glass to toast you, whatever the most positive outcome might be for that particular situation. And you walk yourself through each moment of it, including arriving at the venue or arriving in the boardroom, wherever the situation, whatever the environment is going to be. You take yourself through each moment of it and include the bit at the end when you leave, when you shake hands with the people that you've just been speaking to. Again, picturing each moment in perfection, the best possible outcome. And what we're doing here is we're telling our brain what to expect. We're giving ourselves a template of how we want it to go. And we are, in fact, rehearsing the best possible way it could go so that we can be prepared for everything going smoothly. And by taking the time to do this, not only do we allow ourselves to be in a state of calm before the pressure steps up, and we allow ourselves to drop into some slower breathing, to not focus on the anxiety or the worry of what might come, but we are also giving ourselves a roadmap for exactly how we want this to go. And that's it. Those 3 Ps will take you from feeling like you don't know how to get up in front of people, you don't know how to put up your hand, or you are worried about the worst possible thing happening, or you just feel crippled by the fear of presenting yourself forward in those spotlight moments. It will take you from that to being able to go out and deliver your best so that you can truly satisfy that purpose that you came up with in the first P. So the next time you are preparing for your spotlight moment, take advantage of this strategy, take yourself through each of these steps and go out and deliver so that you can bring your best self forward, so that you no longer feel held back by the worry, by the fear of public speaking, by the stage fright, by the nerves that have held you back for too long, because you are way bigger and better than that. Give it a try. Don't forget to check out the description box below to look at that confidence course and also look at all of the free resources that are there that I've made available to you so that you can work towards your best life and be bigger and better every single day. I'll see you again soon.